And kind of to branch off of the previous presentations, there is a trifecta relationship between your banker, your attorney, and your accountant. Those are your three main foundation of your business, and kind of how the structures how you move forward with your business, and just having that foundation under you to be able to provide you with the services that you need that you don't really want to deal with because you want to go and do your business and do what you want to do. So that's kind of how we all kind of interact. So for selecting financial professionals, really, what could go wrong? I have a quote here that money is only a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. And now some of you might be, well, I can't really drive in this financial world when trying to put together financial statements for a bank or doing anything of that nature. So your financial professionals are going to be your co-drivers. They're going to be there to help you pursue the things that you need to do to be more successful as a business. And a story that I have kind of that goes along with selecting a financial professional. There's a bunch of tax preparers, and this is a local story out of Illinois. Tax preparers can specialize in all kinds of things, whether it's nonprofit or car dealerships, banking industry. They can specialize in certain areas. And there was one particular CPA firm, accounting firm in the area that specialized in minister returns. He was a sole proprietor doing minister returns. So an individual goes to this tax preparer. He was a minister, so he went to this tax preparer and had him prepare his tax return. And you know, a year or so later, he ended up getting audited, like a random selection audit from the IRS. So he brings in his tax preparer to come in and kind of go sit down with him and across from the IRS guy and go over, you know, the issues in the tax return. And one of the items was he deducted suits on this minister's tax return, which is really a gray area in tax preparation. And usually a suit, even though his minister is using them, you're still going to use them outside of work. It's not really a business deduction. But this tax preparer, I deduct suits. The suit it's a deduction. And the IRS agent and this gentleman, tax preparer, kind of got into it and were arguing over these deductions. And then finally the tax preparer slams his fist down and says, I do this for hundreds of tax returns and deduct this. I can't possibly be doing it wrong. To which the IRS agent responds, oh, really? So lo and behold, they audited every single one of the returns that he prepared. And they went back 3 years for each of those individuals, and it ended up being a couple $1 million in tax revenue that they collected from just that one preparer. So I guess the moral of the story is, do you know your tax professional, and are you comfortable with what they're doing for you and the services that they're providing to you? Because they can treat those gray areas as, you know, deductions, or if you're a conservative person, do you want to be more conservative on your tax return? So that's kind of something to think about. First, I kind of want to go over what do financial professionals do for business owners and things that they might need. So the first one is financial statement compilation and review. A compilation is just where you hand us a box of receipts and your bank statements, credit card statements, and tell us to, can you figure it out for me? Yeah, really. So that's kind of what a compilation is. A review is more you prepare your work and we kind of go over it and kind of make sure you're doing everything right. Financial professionals also can do tax return preparation. They don't just have to do tax return prep. They can, you know, do all of these things, but some might just specifically focus on tax return prep. Some accounting professionals also do accounting system setup and continuing support, whether that's a QuickBooks, if you're using QuickBooks for your financials, or a Peachtree, or any other specific accounting system. A financial professional would be able to help you set that up and be able to help you as you continue using it if you have problems along the way. Another thing I put up here was financial audits, which are a step above a compilation and a review. It's usually for nonprofit organizations or people that need to certify their financial statements to their individuals or companies that are providing them money, perhaps. They also can help with estate planning, which also goes hand in hand with your attorney. That's kind of where that links in as well. And also general business consulting. There's also tax and financial planning. Tax planning, whereas in the middle of the year you decide that you need a large piece of equipment for your business, it would be a good time to go to your CPA and kind of tax plan where that might fall into, your end of the year goals. Another specialty that financial professionals can focus in is forensic accounting. Forensic accounting deals more with what people think audits do, is to catch fraud. Audits aren't designed to catch fraud. So that's where you have forensic accounting that comes in, and it's meant to catch those little nuances that maybe somebody's stealing $10 here and there. It's meant to go in and find those patterns. Then there's financial analysis, which would be looking at patterns in your financial statements and really trying to find areas in your business that you can improve or things that you might be missing in your business. And also general bookkeeping, whether payroll. And the next question would be, when do I need to contact a financial professional? And one of the most obvious times, I would believe, is if you're starting up a business. You're thinking of your concept plan. I'm looking to start this business. I'm not quite sure how I want to do it or how I want to get into it. Talking with a financial professional can help you with those decisions and all the abundance of forms that you need to file and kind of sort through all that for starting up a business. If you start a new segment of business, perhaps before you were just providing services to your customers, so you didn't have any sales tax perhaps on that, and then you decided to implement selling merchandise with your business. There are tax implications for that and providing sales tax to the state and various items like that. So anytime you have a new segment of business, new employees, just anytime you change, that's always a good time to talk to a financial professional, because it's better to fix it first, right when you're doing it, than going back after it's done and trying to fix any problems that could have easily been mitigated in the first place. Another issue is if there's a change in profitability, and that could be either an increase, a decrease, or if you're staying the same. And a lot of that, if you have an increase, you might want to talk to your financial professional for tax planning. If you have a large increase in your profits this year, you don't want to get hit with a large tax bill and underpayment penalties at the end of the year. Good thing to go in, talk to your CPA, give them a call. Hey, my profits are a lot higher this quarter. Do you think we might want to plan our estimates a little different? Same thing with a decrease. You might want to lower your estimates, all kind of the same. And then for stagnant, that might be a good time to go in and kind of do the financial analysis and kind of see, well, are you missing something? Are your expenditures really high in one area over the other? Are there things we can fix with that? And another, building on to the banking industry, is business loan application. That's one of the largest areas that we see business, is when companies come in and they have their QuickBooks file, but it's just kind of some of the checks they wrote and some of the money they received. So having a financial professional is good to help come in and tie that together and help you sort out what you're missing and what you need to have the correct financials. And then at the conclusion of business, when you decide that you're done with the business, and let's say you wanted to have a sale of your business, there are lots of tax implications associated with that as far as gains that you might have to pay on the value of the business that you sold. And also gifting and estate planning. If you're planning on, passing down your business to your children, the IRS wants to have a finger in that, and the value of the business that you're passing down can also have some tax implications for you as well. So that's also a time when you want to get with a financial professional, specifically a lawyer can help with that as well, or a CVA or a business valuation to help with that, the conclusion of business for that. So really, when should you contact a financial professional? You should be able to have a financial professional in your back pocket at any time to be able to have an issue like this. Just be able to give them a call, have that relationship with them where you can just run a quick question by them at any time anything changes. And then how do I select my professional that's right for my business? really you need to know what you need and what you don't need. And specifically, a lot of clients would come into us and ask us to perform an audit for them because they're getting a bank loan, when really that might not be what they need. A business might really just need us to kind of put some financial statements together for them. So being a business, you kind of need to know, what do I really need? Do I need a financial professional to do monthly statements, maybe quarterly statements? What do I need from a financial professional? And you really want to do your research on these financial professionals and see what services they do provide and what services you might be interested in for your business. And then once you maybe select a few, you might want to give them a call and set up an appointment with them and maybe sit down and go over, what your expectations are, get to know them, and maybe one of your questions would be, in your gray area of tax, do you deduct suits? So that might be a good interview. Another thing, just as if you're requesting references for an employee, you should generally be able to request references for your financial professional. If a financial professional gets permission from one of their clients, they should be able to provide you with a reference testimonial. So having some references requested is a good way to figure out if that professional is really right for you. Another big thing is, are they licensed to perform the work? So if you're getting a financial statement reviewed or an audit, you'll need a licensed CPA. And generally, you can look that up on the state licensing website, their name, and it'll tell you if they're licensed or not, or if their license is expired or under review. So that's usually a good place to kind of go to make sure that they're legitimate in what they do. And another thing that a lot of people aren't aware of is, just recently, the IRS has required that all paid tax preparers have a PTIN, which is a paid tax preparer identification number. And this, you can only get this if you're a CPA, an enrolled agent, or some professional already licensed by another board that gets continuing education, or you pass an exam administered by the IRS to be able to do tax returns. So if you're taking your tax return to somebody and you're paying them to do it, but they don't sign it with a PTIN number at the bottom, then they're not abiding by all the rules for the IRS. So does that mean that maybe they're not abiding by all the rules for your personal tax return as well? Some firms also have business specialties. Like I was saying, a guy that just works with clergies and ministers. So if you have a niche business that has some intricate accounting needs, and it would probably be a good idea to kind of look around for a business with a specialty that would be able to focus their attention and provide special skills or knowledge to help your business specifically. And then one of the other main things is, can you trust them? That's kind of that trust relationship that Ed was talking about. Do you trust the person? Really, you're signing the tax return, you probably don't know all the rules associated with it. Are you trusting that they're providing the best service? And overall, do you feel comfortable with them? And another thing that I didn't put up there is also a billing rate. 10-minute call, are they going to charge you $100? You want to know that going into it then. So that's really kind of the foundation of selecting a financial professional. And it kind of all goes back again to the banking and the accounting and the attorneys. And having that relationship with them really provides, like I said before, the foundation for your business. And if you're just trying to be the driver of your business and not really knowing what you're doing and what you're going, you could really get yourself into a deep hole, and it can end up costing you a lot of money at the end trying to back out and figure out what you really needed in the first place. So building these financial relationships is just, I can't really stress enough, just not somebody that you go to every day, every week, once a month. Just having that relationship to be able to, call your financial professional and just say, hey, I have this quick question, I have an issue. What do you suggest that I do? Because a penny now saves you a lot of millions of pennies later. So just keep that in mind when you're searching for your next financial professional, and hopefully that'll give you some insight into what you need.